Have you ever been out to a new construction home site and had questions about different items that you notice on the front of the home? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be discussing just 5 of those items. Hi, I'm Dale.frazell and welcome to my channel. Before we get going, I just want to give you a little bit of my background. I built new homes for over 25 years and I am currently a real estate agent, realtor if you will. But enough about me, let's go. Now, if you watch the short on those 5 items that I had in there, I'm actually going to be doing a deeper dive into those 5 items in this video. There are literally hundreds of new construction parts and pieces that go into the building of a home. I point out and explain just 5 of these pieces that play a part in a new home. Number 1, 7-foot high garage doors. Now, this is something that I used to use when I was building many moons ago. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I will point something out here. In today's cars, especially the SUVs, and if you have a pickup truck with any kind of lift, 7-foot door will not accommodate that vehicle. Now, if you have a regular sedan, no problem whatsoever. A little keynote here is, if that builder offers 8-foot tall garage doors, I would definitely be going after that. Now, you can't do that during construction. If that house is already going up and the plans have been permitted, they're not going to allow it. But if you catch that house before they've broken ground, and if that builder gives you that option, it's not really an expensive upgrade, if you will. I think it used to cost about $160 extra to get that 8-foot garage door. Even if you don't need it, because maybe you just have a sedan, it will never hurt to have an 8-foot garage door for resale. Another fact here is they're not going to fit RVs. RVs typically need 12-foot tall garage doors, so it's not going to fit in there, so I don't want to mislead anybody. But for cars, 8-foot would work perfectly. However, again, though, if you've got a truck that's completely lifted or you have a big rack on top of your SUV, still not going to fit underneath there. But 8-foot by itself will accommodate the modern pickups and SUVs. Number 2, hurricane straps. Well, typically when you walk up to a new construction home and the front elevation, you'll see at the garage they'll have those straps right there. Now, they're embedded into the concrete, so when they're pouring a concrete foundation, they actually stick them down there, and some even tie around the rebar. Now they're affixed to the concrete. When you put the house on it, the framing, they are actually nailed. It's called a shear panel as far as they over nail those things. There's a ton of nails on those. Now, they're kind of strategically placed around the home, and that's done in the design of the home. How the house ultimately is held in place is by anchor bolts all the way around the home. So I don't want to mislead anyone thinking those are the only things holding that house in place, because it does, like I said, hurricane straps and also the anchor bolts. Now, one of the things in the garage that I was told, the reason you'll see hurricane straps there is because if the garage door is open and a strong wind comes along, it can actually get in the garage and lift, because now you've got the wind blowing inside. I've never seen it, but there's one of the reasons that you're almost always going to see them at the garage. And also too, because the walls are so small at the garage, in between garage door openings, they want to have a little bit more security. And it's also by code. Number 3, weatherproof backing or flashing. Typically, for example, I'm just going to use the roof right now. When you put a penetration up through the roof, well, now you've got a hole in the roof. So what they do is they put it's called a roof jack itself, and it has a, depending on what the penetration might have been, let's just use your plumbing pipe. It'll have a rubber seal that goes around that pipe, and then it sits down on the roof. You shingle over it so you kind of conceal it. But that prevents any water from hitting that pipe on the outside and dripping down and getting into the attic, which eventually that water will get into the house on that. So that's a penetration, so you seal that. Well, in the past, we had side penetrations, say as a hose bib, a gas line coming out of the side of the house, electrical boxes, even light fixtures. What they've come up with now, just like on the roof, are these weatherproof backing. So if you're going to put electrical fixture out there, you put this backing plate there first, so that's going to seal that up. So when you do put your siding in and then your fixture on it, it's sealed. In the past, the way it used to be on your side walls, your vertical walls, you just put your outlet there and maybe you caulk around it and what have you. But over time, that caulk would break down and you get water and it would cause a lot of damage. Well, now they put this weatherproof backing, so any penetrations on sidewalls, vertical again, they actually seal that off. So not only are you preventing water from going in there, you're preventing any kind of heat loss, if you will, or air getting into the house, also bugs. So it's actually a pretty neat little feature now that they've actually improved on for new construction. I like to pause for a moment here to let you know I don't work directly with builders. I sell their homes. I am a realtor. I work with buyers through the entire construction process from start to finish. Let's continue. Number 4, sewer clean out pipe. That's the main sewer line that goes to the sewer line in the street. Eventually, after everything is done, they will cut that down before the house is occupied, and they normally cut that down to grade and they have a little cap on it. During construction, that pipe to the sewer line is inspected, and that's why you see a little green tag on that. Now, if it's not, they have to fix whatever's wrong with it. So if you see a red sticker on that sewer line right there, something has failed. Now, if I jump inside, there are other sewer cleanouts in there. They are for your bathrooms and even, I believe, your laundry room too. They will be in the walls, so they'll have a little cap over that. So if you took the cap off there, you could possibly unplug the clog from that point. So normally the main sewer cleanout, the one that's in the front of the house, that's the last resort. It's usually the clog is somewhere inside the house, and that's why they put a number of different sewer cleanouts in there, or cleanouts itself. And by the way, if you like this video, hit the like button. It'll help spread this video to other people who can also benefit from this information. 5, weatherproof flashing around all doors and windows. Now, what that is, when I say flashing, it's actually a tape. In the past, when windows were installed, before they were trimmed out on the exterior, you would just have the flanges and you would nail them to the sheathing itself, and then you would come over and you'd put the trim around the window or the siding and caulk it. To me, it was always a weak part of the home, because once that caulk, like I mentioned earlier, has a tendency of weathering. It'll expand and contract, and eventually it's just going to dry up and break away. Well, moisture can get in there, because moisture always finds the path of least resistance. So what they do now on the homes, which I really think is a great idea, you put that window in there, it has the flange, it's already nailed in place, and then they put a membrane. It's a tape. It's kind of almost like a rubber tape per se. They start at the bottom, they come up the legs, and they do the head. And that way, any water that might get behind the trim or the siding will actually wick its way down, not into the house, because now you also have that vapor barrier and it doesn't go into the home. It serves a lot of purposes, not only for moisture, but it also prevents air from coming in and out of that home. Because you got to look at a window. A window is a hole in that wall. You've got this beautiful home with all this insulation all over the place, keeping all that heat and coolness inside, and now you put a window there. So you're trying to eliminate that passage of different airs, whether it be hot or cold. Also keeps the moisture, like I said, and also bugs from getting in the home. Thanks so much for watching this video. And if you would like more information, please visit my website at Dale.frazell.com. I hope you learned something new, and if you did, please subscribe. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one.